Chipotle Mexican Grill is currently one of the most popular restaurants, especially amongst college students. I asked a couple of Chipotle consumers if they could give me their thoughts on the food that was served to them. All of them answered something similar to, and I quote, "The food taste is delicious and at a good price." End of quote. I then proceeded to ask if they had any thoughts on the ingredients that were used by the restaurant to make their enchanting burritos, tasty tortilla chips, or delicious tacos. I asked if they knew that Chipotle used genetically modified products. I came to find that most people simply assume that a restaurant chain as big as Chipotle would not serve any type of food containing GMO. It is important for genetically modified food products to be labeled because every consumer of the product has the right to know if the food that they are consuming has been tweaked by food manufacturers. Now, for those of you that do not know what GMO is, well, GMO stands for genetically modified organisms. And according to Miramontes.com, GMO is an organism whose genome has been altered in order to favor the expression of desired psychological traits or the output of desired biological products. My group and I believe that California should require all genetically modified fruit products to be labeled in order to provide the consumer with the knowledge of what is exactly that they are consuming. First, my partner and I will be talking about the pros and cons that GMO fruit products have to offer. Then, we will explain why it is that companies rather not put GMO labels on their products. Lastly, we will provide a solution to GMO awareness.
Although there is an advantage for GMOs, such as being able to feed many in natural disasters, in Fisher's LA Times article, Proposal Rights Debate over Labeling Genetically Modified Foods, the fear of how these crops are done outweighs it. They state that the fear that eating such foods made from genetically modified foods such as corn, soybeans, and sugar beets could cause allergic reactions, asthma, and immune deficiencies. Although people have certain fears concerning GMO food, the impediment stopping the labels to be produced is the belief that it will be an added expense. Companies are to blame for not wanting to waste money on the production of GMO labels. In Little's New Yorker article, companies defend the case by stating that 70% of processed foods now have at least one genetically ingredient. In Pra's Huntington Post article, she also states that the real cost would come from having to separate genetically engineered ingredients from other foods. Those extra expenses would then likely be passed on to consumers, defending their case by saying that consumers will not want to pay for the expense since they will be charged. Although companies view labeling foods as an added expense, the labeling in the food products would help many people know what benefits them and what does not. Reading labels, people will be notified of the food nutrition facts and whether the food has been modified, giving people the right to know what they are eating. In Kraken's CBS News article, she states that it is our right in this country to know what we eat, and it is our right in this country to know how our food is made. We need to put the emphasis on educating people and not hiding it. Many countries around the world, such as Europe, have started to adopt this policy. They have started to label whether the food is organic or whether it has been genetically modified.
To conclude our presentation, California should require all genetically modified fruit products to be labeled in order to provide the consumer with the knowledge that chemicals are being put into their food in order to make it grow at a faster pace, and for the consumer to know what it is exactly that they are consuming. We have given you, our audience, the reasons of why GMO is both a good and a bad thing in food. We have also explained why it is that companies rather not put GMO labels on their products. Lastly, we provided a solution for GMO awareness. Providing products with GMO labels will help everyone in the long run. It is your right to know if the food that you are consuming has been genetically modified. Don't let food product companies take you away from your right.
This video was brought to you by me, Marlyn Miramontes, and my partner, Muniz. We used sources from Comm, which was from CBS News and article, Lifter from the LA Times, Little from the New Yorker, and Prom, which we used the Huffington Post. We hope you enjoyed.